The three of them rushed towards the clown demon. Ignat said, "We cannot give him an opening. Keep attacking him together." The clown demon was sweating because he knew that he was in a pinch as he was trapped by three strong swordmasters. The demon clown had gone wild and shouted, "I cannot let you leave safely after killing me." Then he tore off his mask that was stuck onto his face. Ilya and Aaron were shocked to see that this demon tore off his mask. The demon's eyes start to shine brighter while glaring at them. He shouted, "All of you will die here." Aaron and Ilya stop from running as they notice that this demon clown is self-destructing himself. The body of the clown demon starts to explode, approaching them. Irene knows that they cannot dodge that large explosion, but Ignat suddenly moves towards them and told them to step aside. Ignat used her sword to block that large explosion. The dark magic barrier that the clown demon creates starts to crack. The massive explosion completely destroyed the black barrier. Ignat was able to successfully block that attack, and there were no casualties. Her armor was already in tatters, and she was barely standing after receiving that strong attack. Both Anya and George run to their commander after the black magic barrier breaks. Irene looks at him and asks, "Ignat, why did you do that?" While slowly closing her eyes, she replied, "I don't know, you bastards." Then she completely fell to the ground and lost consciousness. As she falls into a deep slumber, she starts to ask, "What is this? I cannot see anything. Huh? This place." She goes back to the time when she was still young. The children ask Ignat, "What? Really? Then we can eat 2 meals a day now?" The young Ignat proudly replies, "Of course. I got work from Grandpa Jack. I will make it so you can even eat 3 meals a day now." The children were happy to hear that saying Ignat is the best. When Ignat goes to the old man's store, she asks, "What? You cannot give me work anymore?" The old man replied, "Yes, some looters came by yesterday and robbed the store again. Our store cannot operate anymore." Ignat wants to beg for a job, but there is nothing she can do. In her mind, this is bad. Because of the civil war, there is less and less work. At this rate, it will be impossible to take care of everyone. That night, Ignat looks at the letter given to her by some man. That man was actually a knight who gave her a recommendation letter. At that time, the knight said, "You have skill as a swordsman. This is a letter of recommendation for the Chrono Swordsmanship Academy. If you become a talented swordsman, you will be able to make a lot of money to take care of all of your friends. Think about it." With that, Ignat was fully determined to enter the academy. The day after that, Ignat bids her farewell to all of her friends. The little girl cried and hugged her. She said, "No, can't you stay here? I don't want to be apart from you." Ignat told her to wait for 1 year and that she will get stronger in no time and will come back. The little girl asks, "Really? Do you promise?" Ignat replied, "Of course. I will come back as soon as possible." And she enters the Chrono Swordsmanship Academy. On one sparring session, Ignat emerges as the winner. The students were murmuring, "This makes no sense. She became an expert in just 1 year. She is a monster." Ignat clenched her fist. In her mind, "Nice, with this much, I can go back now." But when she returned to her village, she was not welcomed by her friends, and there was nothing left. The entire village had been destroyed. She starts to ask, "The village is in ruins? Where did the children all go?" Then suddenly Oliver calls her, who was also shocked to see one of his childhood friends. Oliver told her everything that happened in the village while she was gone. Ignat said, "I see. So that is what happened to the kids who weren't here." Oliver replied, "Yeah, they were taken or died." Ignat looked at the thing in the palm of her hand. She starts to feel despair. In her mind, "I am powerless. What have I done all this for?" Seeing the condition of his friend, Oliver asks Ignat if she is okay. Ignat looks at his clothes of Oliver and she says, "Those clothes look new. Where did you get them?" Oliver was quite in panic and didn't know what to say. Ignat asks, "Did you steal them?" Oliver replied, "To survive, we have no choice." Ignat told him that she understood the situation. In Ignat's mind, "I don't want to blame the kids. They must have suffered such unbearably agonizing lives." So she asks, "We won't be able to return to how things were, right?" Oliver replied, "Yes." Then Ignat starts to walk away. She said, "All right, live a good life. I will go now." As she walked away, she could only clench her fist because of anger. In her mind, if they had lived in a better environment than now, they definitely wouldn't have changed. If only I could change the world and make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. After that, Ignat stands tall in front of many swordsmen. One of her men said, "Ignat, I gathered them all. The swordsman who got eliminated in the final evaluation of Chrono Swordsmanship Academy." Ignat announces something on the stage. She said, "Thank you for gathering here. I have something I want to offer to you all." The men ask her what kind of offer. Ignat told them that she wanted to create a mercenary band. The swordsmen were so excited. One swordsman said, "Oh, if it is the one Ignat's making, of course, I will join." Another one said, "I cannot wait. We might really get famous." With full determination as seen in her eyes, Ignat told them, "The mercenary band isn't just for making money. We will move to make a better world. First, in order to make our name known, I will go around to the noble families and defeat them. Once we become reputable and we gather more people, we will monopolize the continent. We will ensure that no one can look down on us, regardless of talent and identity. And with that incredible influence, we will change the world." Later, Ignat decided to join the Holy Kingdom. One of his men approaches Ignat and he says, "I am sorry, Captain. I am against that. If we go under the Holy Kingdom, we will lose our rights and just receive a lot of tasks. Honor? I don't need that. I like how it is right now. I understand your grand dreams, but my abilities end here." Ignat said, "Okay, who else disagrees?" The mercenary hesitates to speak, but he tells her that almost everyone disagrees. Ignat replied, "I see. Then I guess I will go alone. Live a good life." Then Ignat walks away. While walking away, in her mind, "I don't hate my colleagues who are satisfied with the present. Since I have the power to change the world myself, I don't need to lean on anyone else. I just need to do well on my own." But George approaches her and asks, "Captain, can I come too?" Anya said that she wanted to go too. Ignat told them that if they wanted, they could follow. George said that she was cold. Anya said, "I like the cold, Captain, too." Yahoo! In Ignat's mind, there is no need to be happy. They will probably get tired soon and leave anyway. I am used to being alone. As she walks alone further, she goes into the darker part. The clown demon appears and he says, "What do you stand to gain by doing all this? All you get for running like this is just a place where you can rule as you please, and that is it. Do you think there is something more at the end?" The demon shouted, "In the end, you will remain alone in your entire life." Ignat told him that he truly knew nothing. And the next thing is that there was a slash in his face. The demon was confused, asking, "What?" Then Ignat with a flash cuts down the demon who was saying negative things. Ignat said, "If I was scared of that, I wouldn't have begun in the first place." The next thing that happens is that Ignat was able to regain consciousness, and the one she saw was George and Anya shouting their commander's name. Anya was shouting, telling their captain was awake. George asks Ignat if she is all right. Ignat slowly rise up, and Anya told her captain not to push herself too much. Ignat asks how long she was out. George told him that she was unconscious for 2 days. Ignat asks George what is the situation. George replied, "There is no additional damage to the exploration team, but due to the post-death curse left by the demon, a new barrier has formed, and the entire exploration team cannot leave the dungeon. Some soldiers were on the brink of being consumed by darkness, but thanks to Irene Pereira, everyone is fine now. Manifestation of aura and the spread of his will. An aura that exerts influence not only on oneself but on others too. It is truly remarkable." Ignat said, "I see. So that's what happened." In Ignat's mind, the reason I threw myself at the demon is because I believed in that bastard. If it is Irene Pereira, then we can save everyone. Ignat was able to stand up now, and she roamed around to assess the area. And while she was walking, she saw Irene, Ilya, and Ruru, who were happily talking to one another while carrying the goods to give to the other soldiers. Looking at them, Ignat remembers the time when she was young like that, happily mingling with his friends in the village. Ignat told George to gather the entire exploration team. George said, "Yes, Captain, but for what reason?" Ignat replied, "With my current state, it is a bit too much to escape this place. I think I will need their help." George was speechless to hear that his captain was seeking help from someone. As what Ignat ordered, all the entire exploration teams gathered in one place. Ignat said, "As everyone knows, to leave the dungeon, we need to remove this barrier. However, right now, it seems hard for me to remove the barrier alone. Starting now, I will be counting on you." The most effective power to break a demon curse is holy power. However, this power cannot be carelessly taught to outsiders. But if I transfer my skills, there should be no problem. From now on, I will teach you my unique swordsmanship for vanquishing evil. Sir Virox, who was shocked by what he heard, asks, could it be the sword of the hero? A swordsmanship that many heroes in history have used. A secret technique that can stand against demons even without holy power. You would teach us such a valuable technique? But Sir Virox knows that initially, it won't be something easily mastered even if was taught to a swordsman. Amira, who was excited, said, wow, the chance to learn the sword of hero. It is an honor. I will work hard. Other soldiers said that they wanted to learn that too and asked Ignat to teach them well. Ignat smiled and said, seems like there are many who want it. It is good to keep our options open. I will permit everyone. Ignat asks the two young swordmasters. She said, Ilya, Irene, would you like to learn it as well? Amira looks worried looking at Ilya. In her mind, what about you, Ilya Lindsay? Even so, learning swordsmanship from Ignat might hurt one's pride a lot. But Ilya was not even affected by it. She said, thank you. I will learn it well. Amira, who was shocked, said, Miss Lindsay, show some respect to the Black Commander. Ignat told her that she can do as she wish. Ignat asks, Irene Pereira, what will you do? Irene replied, I will do my best to break the curse. Ignat told him that it was good and they could start immediately. Ignat told everyone, before mastering the sword, one must understand the magic used by demons. Magic refers to everything that deceives and destroys humans close to darkness. The exact opposite force that swallows such energy is holy power. Belief in God shines brightly on its own, making it the antithesis of demons. And the human will as well can act in place of God's grace. This way, the power of the mind, especially the will to protect the world, is materialized into energy and channeled into the realm of swordsmanship. This is the sword that protects the world and vanquishes the demons. The training starts, and one soldier says that he has no clue where to start. Looking at the one's training makes George think something in his mind. Of course, it won't be easy. Even if the basic concepts are understood, transforming one's will into the form of swordsmanship is a different matter altogether. It is impossible to materialize energy just by hearing the theory. Irene takes a sigh, and he was able to materialize the energy that Ignat taught them. He asks, is this the sword of the hero? Ignat replied, yes, but I prefer to call it the sword of the heart. 3 weeks later, both Irene and Ilya only left that was able to materialize the sword of hero. George said, only the two of them have been able to materialize the sword of heart in these 3 weeks. Ignat said, it seems that way. While looking at their training, George thinks about something. In his mind, initially, Irene Pereira showed the most promising results, but now Ilya Lindsay is showing a much faster growth rate. Is it because of Lindsay's natural talent? Or is there a special reason for it? Ilya, on the other hand, was really determined to learn it. In her mind, I don't have a heart that wishes to protect the world from demons. What is important is the guardian's will that brings out the sword of the heart. My guardian's will is the desire to protect someone who is precious to me. One soldier notices something. The other soldier asks him what is the problem. He said, didn't you hear the noise from the barrier? Then there was a sudden crack in the barrier that made both Sir Perry Martins and Sir Gregory shocked. Sir Gregory shouted, saying that the barrier broke down. It was really a crack. If you think about something dirty, then you should wash your eyes. A group of knights came inside. It was a knight wearing white armor. The one who was leading them was actually Julius Fall, the White Knight commander of the Holy Kingdom of Abilius. As soon as he saw the commander, Ignat kneels down. Sir Julius said, Ignat Crescentia, so you are still alive. Ignat replied, I apologize for showing such a pitiful state, Commander.